Okay, so we can start now. In the last class, which topic we have discussed? Huh? Config map, secret done. Okay. So in today's session, I'm going to start monitoring. Of course, Kubernetes is not done. Like monitoring is one of the part of Kubernetes. So I'm going to start with the monitoring concept. So it will take a couple of days to complete the monitoring session. So before I start, Durga, like, are you using these servers or like, can we remove it off? If you are using, it's okay. Or otherwise, like, I can remove them. Oh, I think like she's not in the class. Okay, fine. Let me go ahead and create this EC2 instance. So it is my monitoring server. My keypad. What happened? It is blurred. Huh? If it is blurred, that you need to wipe it actually. Because of Anna. No, no, man. Basically, if it is blurred, I need to wipe it with a like tissue or anything. Do you have kerchief with you? Like tissue. Let me call the person. Okay, technical person. Okay. So in today's session, we are going to start the concept of Prometheus, Grafana, and Node Exporter. What is the name of the concept? So it comes under the concept of monitoring actually. Which one? So anyone knows about monitoring here? None of you. Monitoring refers to observing something closely. Observing something. Okay. For example, let's see. You are running a server. You are running a. In that server, something issue got happened. You don't know that is a issue. So in that case, what will happen? It is going to very big blockage or not, sir. For example, let's say in your server, your application is running, but unfortunately, Apache got stopped. What got stopped? If Apache got stopped, how can you see the server? Like, how can you see the application? No. Or due to heavy load, your server got crashed. What got crashed? So in that case, how you will be able to understand the issues there? Generally, you work at what time in the office? Let's say like you will be working on morning 9 to evening 5 or evening 6. After evening 6, what you do? You go to your home, you take your dinner and you will sleep. But in the middle of the night, unfortunately, your server got a spike like that. Your server got heavy load that suddenly got crashed that you don't know. Okay. So in that case, it's going to be very, very big issue or not, sir? First of all, we need to inform to the person who is in the shift. Of course, in real time, we have 3 shifts: morning shift, regular shift, and night shift. The person who is on the night shift can able to understand, okay, so and so server got very heavy load. That is the reason it got crashed. Okay. How I can know means with the help of monitoring, I know. How I can know, sir? Monitoring. So basically, in order to understand the concept of monitoring, I'll tell you one thing. Monitoring is a very boring concept actually. Which one? But when if you use the old tools like Nagios, this kind of stuff. But here you are going to use the advanced tool to monitor the servers. So this is gonna be very, very interesting now. So what is the advanced tool you are going to use for monitoring is I'm gonna use something called as Prometheus Grafana. What I'm gonna use? So let me go and understand what exactly the Prometheus and Grafana refers to. So if you go and see, here I have the data. So Prometheus is an open source monitoring tool, especially suited for cloud native applications and environments like Kubernetes. That means it is a very big, it is very big open source tool. Which one? Sir, it's not a small tool like others, sir. It is gonna be very big tool. Like I have seen a lot of tools, but I have seen this one is gonna be very, very big actually. Okay. So why? Because we have a lot of extensions in this Prometheus Grafana where you can use it for completely free of cost. Okay. So Prometheus is an open source monitoring tool that is especially suited for cloud native environments like Kubernetes. It can monitor the performance of your application and service. That means, for example, if you have an application and if you like applications inside the server, we are going to monitor the performance. Okay. So it will send an alert if you are getting any. For example, it is my server. So understand it very, very clearly and deeply. It is my server. Inside this server, I am doing my work. For example, okay, that can be logging or like some exploit that I am doing. Continuously, I am doing the work. So in that case, what happen, if the performance is very, very good, I'll be happy and you will be happy. Correct or not, sir? That is what will happen generally. But unfortunately, if something is about to crash, you are going to get an alert. What you are going to get? Alert. So that alert will come to my email so that so and so server is having the issue. Immediately, I'll be going and performing the diagnosis now. That means like a process of cleaning it actually. That means resolving the issue, I can say. Okay. So like this, it has a powerful query language called PromQL that use it to analyze the data. It pulls the real-time metrics and compress and store of your time series data base. That means like, let me draw a diagram for you. So if I open the paint for you, so it is going to be very, very advantage for you. Okay. So let's say it is my worker node 1. Okay. It is my worker node 2. So these are the two worker nodes actually. These worker nodes I'm going to monitor with the help of a monitoring server. Which server? So it is going to be a very big server, I can say. See guys, a monitoring server can be anything here. Okay, monitoring server can be, you can use Prometheus Grafana or you can use any other tool also. It's completely up to your choice. So it is my server number 1. It is my server number 2. It is my monitoring server. I'm going to take it as Prometheus and Grafana. What is the craziest part, some people instead of calling it as Grafana, these people call it as Grafana. Grafana is not going to be the correct word, sir. You need to call it as Grafana only. What you need to call as? Okay. So this is my server number 1. It is my server number 2. What Grafana will do, Grafana will collect the complete information of server number 1 and server number 2. And it is going to store on the database of the main server. Where it is going to store? So in the Prometheus itself is going to maintain the database. In this database, it is going to collect the metrics of the worker node and the information of the worker node is gonna store on the time series database. Which one? Time series database. That means like I'll explain what is the meaning of time series database. Okay. So the meaning of time series database, for example, at morning 9 a.m., what is the CPU utilization of this server? Morning 8 a.m. What is the CPU utilization of the server? Morning 7 a.m. and 6 a.m. Which a.m.? 7 a.m. and 6 a.m. What is the CPU and memory utilization of this server? Of course, morning 6 a.m. it is very fine. 7 a.m. also it is fine. 8 a.m. also it is fine. 9 a.m. it become very dull. Why? Because it is the time where user used to log in the application or not, sir. So for every second actual, of course, I am telling it on minutes, but every second, this time series database will collect the information of worker node and store it on the database actually. And whenever I want to see the data, I am going to use a query language called PromQL. What I'm going to use? Let me write this one. PromQL. PromQL. Guys, PromQL stand for Prometheus Query Language, guys. What is the meaning of PromQL? What is the advantage of PromQL, you know? For example, at morning 9 a.m., what is the CPU? I want to know what is the CPU utilization of morning 9 a.m. I can run this query. So that time series database will give me the value of CPU utilization at morning 9 a.m. No, sir, at morning 9 a.m., I want to get the memory utilization. I can run the query. I get the data. So whatever you want, you will run the query and the query will get the data. But where is the data coming from? Data is coming from time series database. This time series database will consist the complete information of the worker nodes actually. Each worker node metrics are going to store here. What is going to store here? Metrics. Let me talk about what is metrics. Metrics include CPU and RAM utilization. Which utilization? CPU and that means my Prometheus will collect the metrics of all the worker nodes. This is my worker node 1. Okay, it is my worker node 1. And next one is going to be my worker node 2 itself. So for each worker node, my Prometheus will collect the metrics and the metrics will be storing on the time series database. Time series database is going to present on Prometheus Grafana server. So whenever a user wants to see the specific data, he is going to run the query. The query is going to be on which language? Hey, YAML. PromQL, man. PromQL stands for Prometheus Query Language. If I run Prometheus Query Language, I'll get the metrics. What is metric here? CPU and RAM of the worker nodes. So, is it clear for all of you now? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm me? Is the architecture clear for all of you now till now? Can you please confirm in chat box? Why? Because this is going to be very, very important for you. If you understand the architecture, working with Prometheus will be very, very easy for you. So, online, what about remaining people? Is it clear for the rest of the people? Man, I'll kill all of you. I said you 3 times, Kubernetes is not yet done. Just also I said, right? In the beginning of session. Now again you are asking the same question. You are not listening, first of all. Your imagination is somewhere else. Come back from Saturday, first of all. Saturday is gone. It won't come back again. Correct or not? Sunday also gone. It won't come back. So be on the present, first of all. Again, of course, one more Saturday will come. Then you can go and you can enjoy. But first of all, focus here. Fine. So yeah, this is what exactly going to happen, sir, in the real time. After getting the metrics, that is going to store on database. So I'm going to use Prometheus query language to get the CPU and RAM. For example, if this so-and-so server is consumed 100% of CPU, that means this server is having 100% of stress. Automatically, this server won't work or not, sir? Just like this projector now. Wait. Okay, what is happening here? Wait. Ah, sorry. Let me fix it properly. Sometimes it won't go normally. We need to fix it. Ah, fine. Is it fine for all of you now? Playing hide and seek with me actually. Yeah. Wait. All and give me a couple of minutes. It's gonna like technical issue here. Give me a couple of minutes. We're fine. So it's working now. So again, like I'm going to recap. So Prometheus Grafana is a monitoring server which collects the metrics of worker nodes. So it is going to collect the metrics like CPU and RAM in the time series database. And whenever I want, if I use PromQL, Prometheus query language, I can be able to get it. Unfortunately, if the worker node 1 is having lot of load, it is up to like 100% of load actually. At that case, you want to decrease the load or not, sir? Yes, we need to decrease the load. But how can you know the load is going to be very high? How do you know? See here, whenever the load is increased for our email, okay? For our email, so this is going to trigger an alert actually, okay? This Prometheus server is going to trigger an alert that so and so worker node 1 is not working properly. So it is going to have complete CPU and memory utilization is done. So you need to check and you need to troubleshoot the issue, okay? So these kind of alert things also we can done. It is going to tell the same thing here. It can also integrate with some tools like PagerDuty, Microsoft Teams, Slack, and email to send the alerts on appropriate on-call person. That means whenever a server is behaving abnormally means not on the expected way, completely CPU and completely memory utilization done. So in that case, this particular thing called PagerDuty or Teams or Microsoft Slack or emails, we are going to select one of them as an integration. If I select Teams, Microsoft Teams, if the data is consuming 100%, my Teams will get a notification. Or if I select email, okay, whenever the server is having heavy load, so I'm going to get an alert that so and so server is having huge stress like that, okay. So similarly, it collects and also have a rich of set integration like other tools and system. So with the, I already said Prometheus is going to be very big tool actually. You don't even expect how much it is going to be big. Of course, even I don't know how much big until and unless I explore that part. Okay. So why? Because we have a lot of extension that other tool doesn't have for the Prometheus like that. So for example, you can use Prometheus to monitor the health of your Kubernetes cluster and you can integrate with Grafana to visualize the data. So this is the complete information of Prometheus, but you don't need to remember this kind of information. There are 5 bullet points what exactly you are going to remember about the Prometheus. If you go for synopsis, first of all, it is free and open source monitoring tool. It collects the metrics of worker nodes. It will store the metrics on the time series database. So we can use PromQL language to get the particular data. See, in this matrix, I have data. Matrix is what? Nothing but CPU and RAM. If I want to get the data, I need to use PromQL. And Prometheus can integrate with lot of tools like PagerDuty, Slack, and email to send the notification. What is the port number? 9090. If you go and see, the entire data, whatever I said, is given on this diagram where not, sir? Worker nodes will give the data. It is going to store on time series database. To get the data, we use PromQL. We get CPU and RAM. And apart from that, here if I get any kind of issue, that is going to trigger an email to my Microsoft Teams or Slack, anything. Basically, your Prometheus server will trigger an email, sir. Which server will trigger an email? So it is my email. So I'm gonna mention like this. It is my email actually. Which one? Email. For this email, my Prometheus is gonna trigger an alert actually. Like this. So from this email, I came to know that okay, like so and so server is having issue. I need to go and I need to troubleshoot to fix it. This is the complete information of the Prometheus now. Is the concept of Prometheus clear for all of you know? Yes. And in the Prometheus, basically you need to have something called as components actually. What are the major components here? First of all, a main server that scrapes and store the time series database. That means, first of all, you need to have the main server that is going to be collect the scraps of your data, for example. Okay. So next to Prometheus query language, we have called as PromQL, which is to analyze and query the data. Already you know. Set of exporter that use it to collect the metrics from various systems and application. Now my question is, sir, from the worker node, you are getting the data, like you are getting the metrics and all. From where you are getting, sir? From the, but how will worker node will send the metrics to Prometheus server? Means here we are going to install the agent. What we going to install? That agent is nothing but node exporter. Which one? Node exporter is a agent which we are going to install on the worker nodes in order to get the data from the worker node. If you don't install node exporter, your worker node will not send data to the Prometheus server, okay, like that. So remember, if I need to get data from worker node, I need to install an agent. What is the agent here? Node exporter. A set of alerting rules that can trigger the notification. Of course, you can set the alerting rules. For example, if my CPV is more than 70 percentage or 60 percentage or at the last of 70 in middle range of it. Okay. So I'm going to set an alert for it. It depends upon my choice. I can go for 60, 70, 65, 68, 79. See, this value is up to my choice, but the ideal one is going to be always going for 60 to 70 percentage. In that range, actually, we can fix a value. It's up to our choice. Okay. So next, an alerting manager that handle the routing and suppression of alerts. Okay, we need to have the alert manager also. I'll discuss what is alert manager in the upcoming days. Again, coming to the components, we have a main server, we have the PromQL, and we have the agent, that is your node exporter, and finally set of alerting rules, and finally alert manager. These are the main components of the Prometheus. Okay. So again, I'll explain the architecture one more time for you, clarity. So first of all, we have Prometheus and Grafana server, which is for monitoring. So it will monitor the worker nodes. Worker nodes data is going to collect from the Prometheus and it is going to store on time series database. But how worker node will send the data to time series database? Node exporter is the reason. Node exporter is the agent which I need to install on the worker node. And metrics means what we are going to collect? CPU and RAM. If I want to get the data, which language I need to use? PromQL. And if any server is going out of the values, so we are going to get an email. That email we can send to Microsoft Teams, Slack, PagerDuty, email, anything is completely fine for us like that. So now here I'm going to install Prometheus actually. So if I go and see out here, so in my GitHub, Raham Sheikh, all set up. So I'm going to install Prometheus actually. Okay. So if I go and check out this one, are you seeing a script called PGN here? Basically PGN is nothing but Prometheus Grafana node exporter. Okay, this name I set for myself actually. There is nothing special about this one. I made it my convenience. So if I give Prometheus, Grafana, node exporter, it's going to be very, very lengthy or not, sir? But see how short and cute is pigeon here. Correct or not? Like that, okay? So if you go to my GitHub, please go and check out the pigeon script here. So you can go and you can run it. Let me copy it and let me run it to my server. But before that, do you know really how much of time it will take to install Prometheus, Grafana and node exporter? How much time it will take, do you know? In real time? 10 minutes, huh? You really think in 10 minutes you can do it, huh? 20? Let's ask Chat GPT, okay? I'm gonna ask Chat GPT how much time Chat GPT will take to install all of them, huh? So how much time required to install Prometheus, Grafana and node exporter? Huh? Just you go and check out the time, okay? I'll install it, but check out the time. So Prometheus, how much of time it is taking? 10 to 15 for installation. For configuration, I'll take the least time, 15. We'll take least time only, 15. For node exporter, 5 to 10. What is the least time? 15 plus 5? 20. And Grafana, so 30 minutes. So it is telling 30 minutes. Okay, least time I'll take 20 minutes. So 20 plus 20, what is the value? 40. But you know how much of time it will take for us? It will take exactly 30 seconds. How many seconds? Of course, node exporter I can install in 1 second. Node exporter I can install in 1 second. Prometheus also I'll install in 1 second, but Grafana will take a lot of time. Why? Because Grafana will have 140 MB. Sir, to install 140 MB, we need to take some time or not, sir? Of course, if my internet speed is very high, I can do it within 1 second, as you said. Okay. But for that purpose, I need to go to NASA. You know the speed of NASA actually? Internet speed. 1 TB, man, what are you talking, man? 90 GB, 91. What is the value? Correct, only you said 91 Gbps. I think it's up to TB, 91 TB, terabyte per second actually. 91 terabyte per second means like imagine how much of speed it is going to have. Correct or not? Okay. But as of now, I'm gonna make it run in like how many seconds, sir? 30 seconds. See, my setup is started now. If you go and check out, Prometheus done within 1 second only. Prometheus done. In the meanwhile, we are speaking. Okay. Now I'm going to install Grafana. See, Grafana is taking some time. Have you seen this one? Why? Because I'm having 113 MB. This is the thing that is going to consume maximum time. So Grafana is also done now. And finally, I'm going to use Node Exporter. What I'm using? Done. So my total setup is done. In how many seconds I have done it? Okay, Alan, like I think it is clear for you know. So we have some technical issue here. It's completely fine now. Okay. So now already we have installed Prometheus, Grafana, and Node Exporter, everything on our machine. So I'm gonna copy the public IP address. What is the port number of 9090? If I go and see here, am I able to run the Prometheus or not? Yes. And second one, the Node Exporter. Node Exporter port number will be 9100. Which one? In 9100, my node exporter is working. But this node exporter is consisting the metrics of this node or not, sir? You can see the CPU utilization. You can see the memory utilization. You can see everything. Are you seeing the memory utilization here? Values. Of course, it is very difficult to see you actually. But here we can get the CPU and memory utilization. For example, let me search here. If I type here CPU, are you getting the CPU information or not, sir? What is the total number of seconds that CPU is utilizing and everything? No, sir. If I want to get memory information, just type here mem. If I go for mem, are you seeing the bytes of memory here? Allocation bytes and everything like that. But the thing is here, whenever you collect the matrix from the node exporter will give the matrix to the time series database. Time series database is going to present on which server? Prometheus server. Now I'll go to Prometheus server. In this Prometheus server, you can be able to see everything from the time series database. But before that, if I want to run any kind of data, if I want to get any kind of data from Prometheus, which one I need to run here? PromQL stand for Prometheus query language. This PromQL will collect the metrics from time series database. Let me go and share this point with you. For example, I want to get the CPU information. Which information? So if I type here CPU, basically the best part about this one, you don't need to remember the queries. I don't remember the queries. I want CPU information, type CPU. Are you getting all of the suggestions or not, sir? For example, let me go and show you, sir. I want to get the process CPU seconds. I want to get the process CPU seconds. So click on this one and click on execute. Within 259 milliseconds. How many milliseconds? Within 259 milliseconds, you got two results. If you go and see, are you seeing the CPU total seconds or not, sir? It is 1.47. And if you want to see on tabular format, it is the way. No, sir, if I want to see on the graphical format, are you seeing the graph format here? Are you seeing the CPU utilization or not, sir? Like that. Sir, in the same way, I want to get the memory information. Type mem here. What do you want to type? For example, in your server, you want to check how many memory is active now. Okay, how much of memory is? So click on this one and click on execute. Are you getting the memory information here? For example, if you go and see, at this particular time, what is the memory you are getting now? 183910 400. But if the spike goes, is the value changing or not, sir? Go to here. Is the value changing or not? Previously, what is the value? It's 18. Just remember the starting number. What is the starting number there? 18. At 11:19, the value is 18. But if I go top here, at 11:20, the value is now 20. Now currently at 11:30, what is the value now? That means for each and every second, the value is changing or not, sir? So all these values are going to store on the time series database. Which one? You can get the value of 11:20. You can get the value of 11:21, 22, 23, 24, 25. For each and every minute you can get. For each and every second also you can get. But how I am getting? I am getting from time series. The name itself is indicating time series database means everything is going to store on the time series pattern. So this is how exactly you are going to get the data of your worker node. So you can get the CPU information, you can get the memory information, everything. But again, sir, you are showing me how much of memory is active now. I want to see how much of memory is free. Just again type MEM here. Are you seeing free here? Free memory bytes. Are you able to see now? Node memory scheme, node active, node bounce, node cache. Okay. Or if you go and type here, just free, just type here the word called free. Are you going to see node memory free here? Node memory free bytes. If I click on execute, automatically you can see at the starting of our server at 11:19, how much of node memory is free now? 30. But if I scroll down now, what is the node memory free now? Is the value changing for each and every minute or not, sir? If you go and place the cursor, this cursor will show you the values and the values will be keep changing. So either you can see the output on tabular format or you can see the output on. Best part is this will show me the current information only. But if you want to see the previous information, you can go for graph. And it is a first method. First method is nothing but normal method. But in the second method also you can see data. That is stacked graph actually. If I click on stacked graph, again, the data presentation is going to be shown in a different way or not, sir? It is a normal graph. It is a stacked graph. You can see anything. Okay. And the better part is you can change the background also. Currently, what is the background theme here? Dark. But I like bright. So you can go in, you can change this one. So it become bright now. Like that. And the worst part is, sir, the Prometheus is going to be very good. But the worst part about Prometheus is for every data you want to see, you need to run the query. What you need to run? Sir, for example, I want to see CPU information, memory information, RAM and everything. That means every time I need to keep running the date query or not, sir. But I don't want to run queries for every time to get the data. In that case, Grafana will comes into the picture. Which will comes into the picture? What is the work of Grafana, you know? Metric server will gather the information from worker node. That is going to give into Prometheus actually. Which one? Now Prometheus is showing the data in the table format, in the graph format. But I want to see on the dashboard format. Which format? So I'm going to use something called as Grafana. Grafana is an open source monitoring tool which will allow us to create the dashboard. By default, Prometheus will provide the values and tables, but it won't show the dashboard. So in order to see the data in a better way, we are going to use something called as Grafana. Let's understand about Grafana now. Okay. So you can go and see again for the synopsis. It's a visualization tool used to create the dashboard. Okay. Prometheus can show the data, but it cannot create the dashboard. And Prometheus will show the data whenever you run a query. Every time we can't run the query. Okay. So in order to use Grafana, you need to understand data source. What is the meaning of data source? You know, data source is nothing, but it is the main component from where you are getting the data. For example, you are getting the knowledge. Where you are getting the knowledge? From my class, right? That means I'm the data source for you. Okay. In the same way, you are getting the electricity. So where you are getting the electricity? From the transformers. That means what is data source here? Transformer. In the same way, you are getting the pocket money. Where you are getting the pocket money? Parents. That means who is data source there? Parents. Here also, Grafana will get some data. The data will be getting from Prometheus. Whatever node exporter will collect the data, node exporter will send it to the Prometheus, and Prometheus will send it to the Grafana, and this Grafana can create the dashboard actually. That is what is the meaning of data source. Data source is nothing but the component which is giving the data is called as data source. Prometheus will show the data but cannot create the. That is the reason why we are using Grafana. And coming to the dashboard, we have two options. We can create our own dashboard and we can import the existing. Importing is going to be one of the best one. Simply by using the ID, 4-digit ID. How many digit ID? We can import any kind of dashboard. And again, we can integrate Grafana with PagerDuty, Slack, and email to send the notification. How exactly Prometheus we can integrate? In the same way, we can also integrate Grafana too. And the port number is going to be 3000. Okay. So already my Grafana has been installed. Directly I can go and I can log in. But before that, it's a visualizing tool used to create the dashboard. But we want to get the data source. What is the meaning of data source? The source which is giving data to the Grafana is called as data source. In our case, which is giving data for Grafana? Prometheus. Prometheus will show data but cannot create the dashboard. So we need to use Grafana. In Grafana, we can create the dashboard and we can import them. And apart from that, we can use PagerDuty, Slack, and email to send the notification. What is the port number here? 3000. Correct. Already we install Grafana. So if I go and if I type this 3000. Now the username and password will be admin. It is the by default username and by default password. Okay. So username will be admin and password is also gonna be. After you can change the pass. So new password I'm gonna use static password which you know. Raham 123 and confirm here. So now is Grafana loading or not, sir? Now the major point is, sir, how you are going to connect Prometheus with Grafana. So guys, here I have given a step-by-step process for you. Okay, there is a process here. We go and see. First of all, connect to the Grafana dashboard. You need to add the data source. Okay, the point is mentioned already there. So click on data source. So here, what is the data source here? Select Prometheus. And here you need to provide the Prometheus URL. If you go and see, is it the Prometheus URL or not, sir? Copy the, and in the Grafana, in the concept of connection, we need to give the Prometheus public IP address and port number. Basically, this much of thing is not required. Remove everything. Just give HTTP, public IP address and port number 9090. After you go and give, click on save in. That's it. Is your Prometheus successfully connected to the Grafana or not, sir? Now Grafana will get the data. And same points I mentioned here. Connect to the dashboard, add data source, select Prometheus. In the Prometheus, give the URL of Prometheus. So click on save in, test. Now in the top of the page, you can see something called as explore data. Are you able to see it? New dashboard, import and everything. Okay, you can see the explore data. If you go and see on top here. Are you seeing this one? You can click this one, or you can click this plus symbol, or even though you can click on building a dashboard. So I'm going for explore data. Now here, if I go and check out this one, here I can be able to get some data. Again, queries I can run, but what is my intention? I don't want to run the queries. I want to create the dashboard. Okay. So if you want to run any queries, you can be able to run queries, but I'm not going to run. But again, in the top, you can see something called as import. Are you seeing the plus symbol on top? Click on import dashboard. See, every dashboard will have some IDs actually. I'll show what is the dashboard and ID. I'm going to give the number 1860 as of now. It is one of the dashboard ID. I'll tell you how this ID is coming. So click on load. Next, select the Prometheus as your data source here. Click on import. That's it. Now your dashboard is ready. If I go and see this one, are you seeing the beautiful dashboard in front of your screen now? What is the CPU I'm getting now? 0.7% of CPU is busy. What is the load of system? 0. As of now, I don't have any load. What is the RAM I'm consuming? 36. What is the root volume I'm using? Out of 8 GB, 30% is done. Okay. So root 8 GB of volume. I'm having RAM 953 MB. And how many number of CPUs I do have? Uptime means from how much of time it is running. From how many minutes it is running? 49 point. If I click on refresh, automatically that value will change again. Is it going for 50.3 now? Like that. Sir, are you getting the complete information of your server or not, sir? Yes. For example, I want to see CPU information. Are you going to see the CPU panel here? Click on the panel. In the panel, if you go and see, sir, my system is consuming how much of process? 0.09. What is the user consuming my data? 0.4%. If you go and see, idle, how much of CPU is idle now? 99.4. So by this, I can see the CPU information. Similarly, in the same way, memory. Sir, how much of memory is consumed by the application here? 145. And if I scroll down here, how much of cache memory is there? 522 MB. And what is the unused MB here? 208. In the same way, and one more thing, it is very small to see. If you want to maximum, just to place your cursor and give V. What you need to give? If you give V, it is going to maximize. Okay. So how much of EBS volume that your root is consuming, sir? 2.4 GB. And how much of data is consumed by run folder here? 508. So again, if you want to come back, just to give view. If you give V, it can maximize, and if you give V, it can minimize. You can see the CPU memory information like that. No, sir, I want to see the network information. What I want to see? So click on networking panel. Are you seeing the networking information here? How much of data is transferring? How much of data I can receive? Everything I can be able to see it or not. If you want to get maximized, just to give V here. And if I go back here, if I place my cursor, are you going to see the spikes here? How much of data I can transmit and how much of data I can receive. For each and every second, it is showing or not, sir? For every second to second, it will show. Like that. So I can see the Storage information, I can see network, I can see hardware, I can see memory information, I can see CPU, everything I can be able to see or not, sir? Yes. And unfortunately, previously, what is my CPU busy here? 0.9. But I'm going to make it complete busy. I'm going to use some stress here. What I'm going to use? Sir, whenever if I install stress, automatically it is going to have stress or not, sir? Already we seen in the concept of HPA and VPA, how to install stress. So again, I'm going to install the stress. I want to show you how will the dashboard look like when I give stress to my server. Okay. Let me go back now. So now the command is Amazon Linux extras install EPEL. First of all, you are going to install this command, sir. Already I have given this command for you. If you go and see, run this command and run the command minstall stress. The moment if you run them, and one more thing, already in the background I run the command. Server got disconnected in the middle. Is the command going to stop or is it going to run from the background? How many of you say it is going to run? Raise your hands. So rest of the people are stuck. Basically, command will run from the background. You disconnected from the server, but in the server, that process is going to keep running itself. Okay. That means if I log in now, I don't need to install that command one more time. That is already installed. Even though if I try to install, it's telling that already this is going to be installed. Directly, I'm installing stress now. If my stress is installing, that is already installed. Okay. Stress got installed and type the command stress. I'm going to show you. I'm going to give the stress for 100 seconds. How many seconds? Or let's take for 60 seconds. Currently, the CPU is 0.9 percentage, right? But after installing stress command, what is the value? What is the load here? 46. So remember these values, okay? If I install this command, hit enter. Now you can go and check these values will be keep changing. I'm not doing anything here. And for every 5 seconds, auto refresh is going to enable here. What is the system load here? 145 now. 246. Now, sir, automatically data is loading or not, sir? Why? Because Prometheus will load data for every 5 seconds. Here, I put the 5 seconds. If I put 1 minute, data is going to load for every shortest bit I put is 5 seconds. Are you seeing the system load and the CPU is completely increasing or not? So whenever the load is going to increase like this, I'm going to send an email to my team. That is automated email. Hey, Raham, that so and so system got a CPU performance issue. You go ahead and check it. Yes, we will configure the email. However, you configure the email, the same email will go to the person who is in the shift actually. Okay. What is the system load now? It is near to 1000, right? Let me go for 1000. Okay. Is it dropping down now? Why it is dropping down? Because I give 60 seconds. After 60 seconds, automatically is going to drop off. If you go and see, my stress is done. Are you seeing it now? But again, if I put for 100 seconds now, how I am putting? Automatically for the next 100 seconds, the load is going to be high. Now go and see the values will be spiking again. 597 is the current value. 669. What is the value? 669. Again, it is going to increase or not, sir? Yes. So 813 is the value now. 860. 903 and see RAM is completely 50% done. Previously it was 30, but now it is 50 and CPU is almost all 22.5% occupied. System load. So it's almost all cross the 1000, just like our Kalki box office. Correct or not? You know, in India, how many movies crossed to 10,000 actually? From Telugu movies. Correct. 3. Bahubali is the one. Triple R. Kalki. So like this 1000 crore club, our server is also changed the 1000 crore club here. So you can see the CPU is completely occupied, RAM is occupied, and everything is occupied. But after 100 seconds, again my CPU utilization will be coming down or not, sir? Yes. Basically, in real time, whenever user access the application, see 1, 2, 3, 4. Very crazy number. Have you seen that one? Yeah. So whenever users are using the application, I'll get stress like this. But here I don't have that many users to show you the stress. That is the reason manual I'm providing the stress for it. So like this, I can be able to give the stress and I can be able to decrease also. So even though if I use C, completely it got stopped now. Now again, the values will be coming slowly. And is it automatically showing the values or am I refreshing here? Why? Because automatically it can show the value and they can select the value for every 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds and everything. If you select off, it won't show you the values automatically. You need to go and click on refresh. Every time we need to keep doing this one. So it's not a good one. So definitely we need to put the auto refresh for every 5 seconds. It's a better method. Okay. Definitely it will crash. So we use auto scaling group there. I don't tell you what is the meaning of auto scaling group till now. In the AWS concepts, I'm going to teach you what is auto scaling group. Okay. Now the value is coming to 644 or not, sir? That means previous it was 1, 2, 3, 4, but now it came to, it is decreasing slowly or not? Like that. So in real time, we use auto scaling groups. In order to distribute the load to different servers, we are going to use auto scaling group. So there we are going to use cooling period actually. What is the meaning of cooling period? Amount of time taken to create a new server or to remove the existing server. Simply, what is the example? Are you in the Kubernetes classes, Avinash? You missed a beautiful concept there. Okay, anyways, fine. Our people will tell you later, okay, what is cooling period. Huh? Fine. So this is the way how exactly it is going to work for you. But sir, now here my question is, of course, you showed me the dashboard. Sir, is it only dashboard or can we go and use some other dashboard? Means, guys, there are a hell lot of dashboards actually. Currently, I'm using the dashboard called 1860, but I can use one more dashboard called 1650. Okay, let me go and use this dashboard. So again, click on plus. If I click on plus symbol, are you seeing new dashboard here? Import dashboard. So what is the next one means here? Oh, wait. 1650. So click on load. I'll tell you where these dashboards are coming. So, oh, wait. It is not the dashboard I want. So 10180. It is a dashboard I'm going to use. It is a dashboard. Let me go back. Click on new. Import. Give the ID. Are you seeing the dashboard now? You can see number of minutes it is running from. You can see the number of cores, RAM, CPU load, memory load, disk free. Okay, everything you are able to see it or not, sir. So you can use that dashboard or this dashboard. Okay, if you want to go for memory, or is the memory data now? How much of memory is free? Memory means RAM here. How much of memory is available? How much of memory is consuming? Everything you can be able to check. And if you want to see disk usage, disk means ROM actually. Okay, you can see disk details here. Let me maximize. You can see how much of GB I am using. At 1710, what is the GB I am using? 5.95. But if I go to 1650, how much of GB I am using? 5.95. So these values will keep changing, but now it is 5.88 like that. So this is one of the other dashboard what you can use. First dashboard ID is 1860. Second one is 10180. Third one is going to be 11340. I'll explain where these IDs are coming from. But let's go and explore some dashboards. Okay. I want to show you a lot of dashboards for you. Give you the dashboard ID. Click on load. Next, you are going to select the Prometheus as your data source. Click on import. You can see some different dashboard in your screen. Oh, wait, I think this is not the dashboard what we are going to use. Wait, this is the wrong dashboard ID, I think so. Let me go 14731. Sometimes you need to give the proper ID, otherwise it is not gonna like valid properly. Click on import. Are you seeing the dashboard now? So you can see CPU busy, RAM, network, traffic, data, system load, and everything you can able to see it or not, sir. So it depends upon your choice which dashboard to use. You can use any dashboard. But apart from all the dashboards, which one is best to see the data, sir? First one, second one, third one. First one, right? First one is very good. Why? Because it is having lot of data. But second one is having the limited data. Which data? Limited. Now you can ask me, sir, you are getting this many dashboards from the IDs. But where you are getting? How you are identifying them? Basically, if you go to Google and type Grafana dashboards. Grafana dashboards. Basically, there is a cloud called Grafana Cloud actually. Which cloud? Grafana Cloud will have a lot of dashboards which is already created. What you can do, simply go to them and use them. If I go to Grafana Cloud here, in the Grafana dashboard, if we come to the dashboards, you can come to see here. This all will be dashboard. For example, I want to monitor the Linux server. Which server? Click on Linux. Are you seeing the dashboards here? And you need to select the data source. I'm using currently which data source here? Prometheus. Just to please go ahead and select the Prometheus as a data source. If you have Prometheus installed on your server, you can be able to get all this kind of dashboard. For example, see, I like this server. I like this server dashboard. If I click on this, are you seeing the dashboard ID here? 14731. So if I want to use this one, what is the data source I need to install? I can use it. And apart from that, dependency, I need to have the Grafana also. Okay, if I have data source Prometheus and dependency Grafana, I can be able to use it. And it is published by a person called Sandesh Yadav. He is the person who has given the dashboard. It is completely free of cost for us. We are not going to pay any single penny for it. And it is lastly modified on 2021. So if you use, you are going to get this kind of dashboard. And the better part is, if I click on this one, it is free and open source, right? You can go and you can modify as per your requirement also. Why? Because it is open source, right? Can I fork it or not, sir? Can I fork it and I can be able to modify as per my requirement also. In the same way, if I come back here, there is some other dashboard. Let me show you this one. For example, sir, I found this dashboard is very, very interesting for me. Okay. Let me go for this one. This dashboard is very, very interesting for me. So if I want to get this kind of dashboard, first of all, what you need to have? Prometheus as a data source. Do I have it? And Grafana is as a dependency. Let me use this ID 12633. So if I go to my Grafana, if I click on plus symbol, import dashboard, click on load, and I'm going to use the Prometheus as my data source. Click on import. Now let's go and see, will we get the dashboard like that or not? Are you getting the dashboard or not, sir? But it is somewhat of China language, okay? Nobody understands this one. But if you want to use this one, you can use. The only thing is you need to go to the Grafana cloud, see the dashboard, whatever you want, copy paste the ID. Correct or not, sir? That is the only thing what exactly you are going to do in the real time actually. If you do this one, then automatically it is going to be very, very working fine with you. And again, are we going to pay amount for this dashboard or is it going to free for all of you? Free. So remember, your dashboard will be depending upon the data source what you are going to use. In the data source, I need to select the Prometheus. For example, let me go and show some of the wrong dashboards. For example, if I go and see, here everything is Prometheus only. See, for example, I want to get this dashboard. Okay, so I'll click on this one. What is the ID here? 12632. Will I get it? Yes. Why? Because what is the data source I'm having here? Prometheus. But if I go to some dashboard will not have Prometheus data source. For example, sir, this dashboard is very, very good to see. But if I want to get this dashboard, I need to have the Data source as influx. Do we have this one? No. When I don't have this data source, even though if I try to copy paste the ID, I won't get any kind of thing. Let me go and show you. Click on load. Data source. Are you seeing any data source here? No. Why? Because your dashboard will depending upon the data source only. Every dashboard will not have the Prometheus as your data source. Some dashboard will have some other data source. If you have it, you can use it. But here I don't have InfluxDB. So I need to go and I need to configure the new data source. If I type here InfluxDB, if I click on this one, so I need to configure how exactly I configured for my Prometheus. Here also I need to configure the InfluxDB. But first of all, I need to give the InfluxDB URL and I need to provide the authentication. Then I click on save and test. Then only this will work actually like this. So is the concept of data source clear for all of you know? All in, can you please confirm me? Is the concept of data source clear for all of you or not? Can you please confirm in chat box? Okay, it is clear. But sir, tell me one thing. Currently, which server you are monitoring, sir? Which server you are monitoring here? Sir, you are monitoring the monitoring server only. What you are monitoring? If you go and see, currently I created only one server, that is my monitoring server. You are monitoring the monitoring server only. But in real time, are you going to monitor the monitoring server or worker nodes? How do you monitor the worker nodes? First of all, let's go and create them and install. I'll be installing node exporter on both of them. And for worker nodes, I'm going to take T2 medium. Why? Because I want to show you some difference actually. See, main server is having one CP, na? So here I'm taking two CPs to show the difference between main node and worker node while monitoring. Okay. So keep it, anything is fine. So here we are going to install node exporter and storage also I'm taking 30 GB, sir. How much? Why? Because to show the difference. Apart from that, nothing will be there. Okay. Now I have two worker nodes. Let me go and connect with the mobile store. So I'm gonna connect the worker one. So you can give names for your clarity also. Worker. It is going to be worker number 2. I'm going to connect to both of them and what I'm going to install here? Node exporter. Why? Because without node exporter, how can I get data to the Prometheus server, sir? No. If I don't get data to the Prometheus server, how can Grafana will show it? Can we do it? No. So just to go to the pgen script again, in the pgen script, what you need to install? You can go to the last and you can copy everything here. That will be enough. Or if you want to install node exporter, for node exporter, I have also the separate script. Are you seeing the node exporter script here? This you can use or you can use it from here also. Anything will be fine. I'll copy them. I'll go for multi-execution mode and I'm going to run them as a script. Okay. Sudo -i vm ne.sh ne for node exporter. I'm going to paste and I'm going to run them. You know, it will take only 1 second. How many seconds? It's done. It install only 1 second or not, sir? But how much of time ChatGPT is taking? 5 minutes for node exporter. 5 to 10. How many? But we took only అట్లా ఉంటది మన స్క్రిప్ట్స్ తోని. Fine. So if I go to node exporter here, so what I'll be doing, you know, sir, already you install node exporter. What you install? Node exporter. So now if I go and see currently in the status, okay, if I go to targets, how many servers are running here? One. Only my local server is running. But what about worker node 1 and worker node 2? It won't run. Why? Because by installing node exporter, you can get the metrics only. What you can get? Metrics. Let me show you. It is my worker node 1. I'll copy the public IP address. What is the node exporter? Ports are 91. Is it giving me the metrics? Yes. Similarly, copy the public IP address of your worker 2 also. (9100). Are you able to see it now? So both my worker node 1 is giving me the matrix and worker node 2 is also going to give me the matrix. That matrix will come to which server? Prometheus. From Prometheus to Grafana. But in Prometheus, is this server running up now? No. Why? Because we need to configure them manually. What we need to do? Sir, how do you configure this server? Means here if you go and see in the session itself, I shown you connecting to the worker nodes. First of all, create 2 servers and install node exporter. Now go to main server. Which server? Main server. Now you need to go to the path VIM etc host. That's it. If you go to this simple path, in which server, guys? What happened here? Oh. If you go to this path in your main Prometheus server, you need to give the public IP address of both servers. That's it. If you add them, ultimately you can be able to monitor. Let me show it quickly. Sudo -i VM etc hosts. Remember, the name of the file will be hosts. If I go here, come to the last one and write here, what is the first public IP address? Go and copy it, sir. It is a worker 1 public IP address. And the host name, I'm going to give it as worker 1. Similarly, I'm going to copy the public IP address of worker number 2. And I'll give it as worker 2. That's it. If we give both of them like this, simply if I go to the page and if I click on refresh, there you go. Automatically these nodes will be up and running now. This up and running now. That means from the metric server, the data is taken by the Prometheus. Now from Prometheus, data will go to the, if I go to Grafana, previously, if I click on drop down, before refreshing, I can be only able to see 1 server. But if I click on refresh, now I can be able to see 3 servers. How many? One is local server, that is monitoring server. Second one is worker node 1. Third one is worker node 2. In the drop down, are you seeing worker node 1? Sir, I want to check the information of worker node 1. Select this one. For worker node 1, what is the CPU utilization here? What is the system load? 0.5. How many CPUs it is having? What is the EBS volume? 30. What is the RAM, sir? 4. Again, if you go to worker node 2, again the values will keep changing. For worker node 2, CPU is 90% BD. System load is nothing. RAM is 7.6 done. And number of cores to CPU and RAM will be 4 and root volume will be. Like this, you are going to monitor some hundreds of servers in real time. How many servers? Hundreds. So simply if you want to connect, create 2 servers, install node exporter and go to monitoring server and etc host, give the public IP address of worker node 1 and worker node 2. Sir, how this is working in the background? Means in background already I wrote a script actually to connect to 2 worker nodes. How many worker nodes? Sir, in practical, if you want to connect to more than 2, it won't work. Why? Because I have given the limitation of 2 only. If you want to make it extend in VM etc Prometheus, in prometheus.yml, here if you go and see in target section, how many nodes I have added? 3. One is localhost, second one is worker 1, third one is. Sir, in the practical part, if you want to monitor the worker node 3 also, you need to go and give like this, comma, worker 3, worker number 3. And what is the port number? 9100. 9100 is the port number of node exporter. After giving this one, now again you need to go to VM etc host and you need to give the public IP address of your worker number 3. Let's take any of the public IP address and give it as worker number 3. So this is the way. Okay. The script what I have written, initial I wrote for only 2 nodes only. How many nodes? But if you want to give the third node, you need to go to this path and you need to add the third worker node like this. So I'm writing this one also to add third worker node, to add more nodes. Go to here, modify as per requirement. So this is the whole and sole concept of the Prometheus grafana, sir. Now tell me, with the help of Prometheus grafana, can we able to monitor the multiple servers or not, sir? Have you got the clarity that how the monitoring is working in the real time? Is it clear or not? That's it. So now I'm gonna give the notes for all of you. So, but before going for doubts and queries, my first question for all of you, both online and offline. How's the class for all of you today's, guys? Is it clear for all of you? Okay. Online, what about you guys? How's the session for all of you today? Can you please confirm in chat box? I would like to get response from all of you. I'm giving it now. Basically, I forgot to upload actually, but today I'm uploading. So you have the last class and today's class notes. It is the last class, right? Secrets and config map. So I'm giving both of them today itself. Yeah, you got it right. Fine. So coming to today's session, it was clear, great, fine. Okay then. So now if you are having any doubts or any queries, you can ask me now, guys. For any queries or any doubts. If you practice one time, the Prometheus will be very easy. Of course, in tomorrow's session also, I'm going to teach you Prometheus. Today, I said you on the monolithic architecture. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you microservice monitoring. Okay, that's going to be very interesting. Online, any queries from your end online? Kubernetes project included in Prometheus and Grafana. I'm going to teach you project also, Vikram. So wait for some days, okay? We need to see Argo City and Helm also for the project. So wait till I set the project. Okay then. So I hope it is clear for all of you. Let's meet on tomorrow's session with some new topic. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Splunk is also going to be monitoring, like logging to Kapil. Same purpose for monitoring and logging. Thank you all.